sounds like a blast from the past. Some action music. Welcome to the continuing drama. It is now released. Book 7 of The Mental Files by Nurse Anne. And Book 7 is Ready, Willing, and Able. Right along with the frontline workers on the continuing drama as they discover that problems exist in every type of household, for richer or poorer. And sometimes the unlikeliest of people can be the actual heroes. Abilities triumph over a spectrum of doubt. Will the young paramedic make wise or hasty relationship decisions? Why does the mental health nurse get sent to the ER? Can the community and church finally accept the so-called different people in their midst? Buckle up for the fictional drama series highlighting mental health and relationship drama. Discover if the team can help those in crisis, mental, physical, and spiritual. What role does God play in the outcome? The shifts are 24/7, filled with danger, action, suspense, romance, faith, and inspiration. So we're going to jump right into The Mental Files, Book 7, Ready, Willing, and Able, by Nurse Anne, which is action, adventure, advocacy, and awareness. So table of contents, we're going to jump into Chapter 1, all in this together. Victoria fumbled with the phone, trying to dial 911 and stop her adopted teenage daughter from hurting herself at the same time. Lee-sung, please try to calm down. I'm calling for help now. No, screamed the agitated young lady. 911, what is your emergency? Responded the emergency worker. Please send an ambulance. My daughter won't stop hitting her head on the wall. She has autism and has not been herself lately. I'm afraid she might knock herself unconscious, uttered the frantic mother. EMS and mobile crisis are being dispatched now. I will stay on the phone until they arrive, assured the voice of calm authority. After putting the phone on speaker, Victoria unsuccessfully tried to get her daughter to relax. Hearing the oncoming sirens brought some relief. The new paramedic and his seasoned partner Maria arrived at the same time that Officer Leon and the mobile crisis worker Lita pulled into the driveway. As they all got out together, the inexperienced paramedic blurted out his first impression. Wow, this neighborhood is so fancy. Money, money. Are we sure dispatch sent us to the right place for a call of domestic disturbance? Seriously, Mars? Replied the officer, who was also taking Mars under his wing to mentor his life, after recently helping to rescue the young man from a life of crime and despair due to not having a father or any positive male role models. Trouble comes to all neighborhoods, added the wise caseworker, who had recently accepted the marriage proposal of the handsome policeman. Even I've learned that by now, added Maria. She was enjoying teaching the ropes to Mars ever since they'd been assigned to work together. Even though he had a lot to learn, he was good-natured and fun to be around, and definitely interested in learning everything he could. After the frontline workers made their way into the house, the paramedics tried to coax the young lady over to the stretcher. Thankfully, between Maria's calming voice, silly jokes from Mars, and the allurement of the medical gadgets, Lee-sung turned her attention toward the newcomers. While the duo charmed their way into the heart of her daughter, Victoria talked with Leon and Lita. Lee-sung is usually joyful and calm, high-functioning in school and at home. She loves to help people if they look sad. She also loves her classmates and gets along well with them. Has she had any recent changes in her life? Questioned the caseworker. Unfortunately, too many all at once, answered the mother of the teenager. Her dad is out of the country on high-level business. Our live-in assistant had to leave suddenly to take care of a sick family member. Lisi loved her. They got along so well. She felt comfortable around her. A double whammy, expressed the officer. If only that was it, continued the exasperated mother. Last week, her favorite teacher's assistant moved out of town. The school is trying to hire another qualified assistant to work in the special needs classroom. They have to find the right match. I'm sorry your family is going through much, offered Lita. Does your daughter have a caseworker? Yes, and he is working on helping me to find another live-in assistant. Slim pickings available right now, answered Victoria. Hearing giggles across the room, all eyes turned to witness Lee Song laughing at the impromptu puppet Mars was making with a medical glove. Even Maria was laughing. You are all so great at this. Thank you so much, complimented the formerly distraught mother. We can transport to the ER to check for injuries if you like, offered Maria. I think that would be best. Gotta be safe, replied Victoria. Could I ride in the back with her? I think that would be helpful and comforting for her, answered the lead paramedic. Mars, do you mind driving to the hospital while I stay in the back? My pleasure, he replied. After the team safely had the family in the EMS truck, Leon held his car door open for the love of his heart to give her a ride back to her mobile crisis station. Mars seems to be doing very well in his new career choice, commented Lita. He's so blessed also to have you as a mentor. Thanks, my love, he replied. How's your work week been? As Leon and Lita chatted on the way back, Mars and Maria made their way to the ER with their precious cargo. Lee Song was enjoying the ride with all of the exciting things to see and hear in the ambulance. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is Bright Lights and Action. Victoria braced herself for the ensuing chaos and bright lights at the ER. She didn't want anything else to trigger her daughter. She was thankful that Lee Song was still eligible for the pediatric side due to being 15 years old. Usually, it was a little easier to navigate for both of them. And the teenagers still loved the toys and puzzles they offered. Hopefully, her daughter's favorite staff would be on duty. After giving a report to the team, Maria and Mars waved goodbye to their patient and headed back to the station to clock out for the day. Maria asked her partner if he wanted to stop by her house after work for some of her mom's homemade stew. Well, that's an easy decision, answered the hungry paramedic. Back in the triage room, Victoria answered the history questions for the nurse. Lee Song piped up with some of her versions of her own answers. She's definitely a teenager, chuckled the nurse. What's your favorite thing about school? Asked the RN. Creative writing class, answered the excited 15-year-old. Right now, we're making comic book stories with superhero characters. That sounds amazing, exclaimed the healthcare worker. What's your story about, and who is your superhero? My superhero flies around and rescues people who are sad, she answered. I would love to be able to see a picture of your superhero, commented the triage nurse. Well, guess what? Announced the proud teenager. I have the picture on my phone. But I left my phone at home. Mom, can you please show the nurse the picture of my superhero? Of course I will, replied Victoria while she shared her daughter's artwork with the nurse. What a resemblance to you, Lee Song, remarked the nurse. What is your superhero's name? You know, silly. It's Lee Song, the girl exclaimed, while the two adults gave each other knowing looks and big smiles. I'm so glad to hear that, young lady. Do you have a best friend? Asked the nurse while she typed in the assessment of her patient. Yes, my best friend is Marjorie, answered the girl as she started to tense up and rock back and forth. What's wrong? Questioned the nurse. Did I say something wrong? Marjorie was our live-in helper, and she recently moved away. Lee Song has been very upset about it. She misses her very much. She gets to FaceTime her on the phone, but it's still not the same, relayed Victoria. Oh, I see, replied Nurse Darcy. I'm very sorry that you miss your best friend, Lee Song. After the nurse finished her triage assessment, she walked Victoria and her daughter to an exam room to wait for the doctor. Chapter 3, Venturing Out. After the paramedic duo finished the homemade stew at Maria's house, Mars profusely thanked her mother for the delectable concoction. I'll be happy to help you in the kitchen to clean up, he added. That's very nice of you, Marge. You're very polite, but it's no problem. Most of it's already done, and I know you and Maria had a long day at work. I'm very proud of both of you. She tells me you're learning very quickly and really care about your patients, complimented Maria's mom. Thanks, I didn't know she said all that, said Marge in reply. It's true, Marge, you are doing a good job, added Maria. Marge, it was nice to see you. I'm going to go to the kitchen, clean up, and then read my book, while you two hang out in the living room, relayed Lila. Okay, thanks again for the great food. You can invite me over anytime. Chuckling on her way to the kitchen, Lila remarked, Will do, Marge, will do. After Maria's mom walked out of earshot, Maria excitedly asked Marge to sit in the living room with her. Marge, I've been waiting all day to tell you about this great plan that I have, started Maria. Really, what is it? Asked the curious new partner of the pretty young lady. I finally saved up enough for a deposit in my own apartment. I found something really amazing. It's not that far from the workstation. It's actually 2 beds and 2 baths. I was thinking that since you were saying you wanted to move out, that we could be roommates, she suggested. That would be amazing, Maria. I've been waiting to get my own place. I haven't really been able to afford the prices I've seen. When can we go look at it, he asked. Great. I thought you might be excited. Although it's kind of hush-hush right now. I haven't told my mom about it until I know for sure, she cautioned. I know what you mean. I haven't really brought up the subject with my mom either, but I think this sounds like a great opportunity for us to get out on our own, added Maria's coworker. I agree, she exclaimed. After the pair excitedly talked more about their plans to venture out on their own, Marge said goodnight and drove home. He wasn't sure how he would break the news to his mom, but he knew it had to be done at some point. Chapter 4, Weary and Worried. After the pediatrician did a thorough exam on Lisong, he asked her some questions about how she was feeling. And that's the end of the intro of Chapter 6, The Mental Files by Nurse Anne. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback on Amazon, also on my podcast and my website, nurseanne.com. You can get the audiobook version. And on the podcast of nurseanne.com, I read you the chapters and then break them apart as it relates to our own real life drama and relationship struggles and inner thought battles that we face. And then we have some biblical prescriptions to help us navigate our life journey. And not only that, we jump more into the files of nurseanne.com for inspirational wellness. There is healthy eating. There's a nurse's station for health tips. There's relationship prescriptions tab, so we won't keep making those same old mistakes in our relationships. There is more biblical prescriptions. There's also mental wellness to help you on that journey. There is a featured artist corner that you can be featured on. There's a life improv tab that's a lot of fun and interactive, and that is a real life situation framed in a Bible story with a twist that you have to see if you can guess by the end, and that's also interactive. There's the Heart Book, which is a great ministry, many more tabs. So in addition to getting the Mental Files series, books 1 through 8 on Amazon, you can also get my other book I just released, which is Word Puzzles Devotional. And that's by Nurse Anne, and that's Anne with an E. And what that is that's interesting words linked once again to real life situations and drama, and then paired with an appropriate Bible verse and Bible verses and just more wisdom and guidance from the ultimate wordsmith. And you're going to love that too. So there you have it, the intro to Book 7, The Mental Files, Ready, Willing, and Able. Check out these awesome characters and see what happens. Check out the nurseanne.com podcast and the audiobook intros and the Word Puzzles devotional. And if you missed the other intros, you can go back on this site and check them out. More blasts from the past for you as we outro out of the audiobook intros of The Mental Files by Nurse Anne. Law and Order SVU meets Touched by an Angel. I don't know. You check out the series and let me know what TV shows or dramas that you think they most resemble. I'd love to hear it before I put it out on Netflix, PureFlix, or my own channel of creative entertainment with a purpose by nurseanne.com.